Okay, let's just jump right in. We've all been there, right? You spend hours, maybe even days, with an AI designing the perfect system. The architecture is beautiful. The interfaces are clean. Everything is mapped out. But then comes the moment of truth. You dump all that brilliant design work into your AI coder, and what you get back is a total mess. Today, we're going to fix that. We're unpacking the craft phase, which is all about turning your perfect design into production-ready code without anything getting lost in translation. On the left, that's the dream. That's the clean, elegant system you designed. But on the right, well, that's the reality for a lot of us. A tangled, confusing mess of spaghetti code. Now, this gap, it isn't about your design being bad, it's about your implementation method, which brings us to the big question. Why does this keep happening? It feels like you did all the hard work up front in the design phase, only to trip at the finish line. The good news is there's a reason for it, it's not random, and it is totally fixable. It all comes down to having a method, and that method is what we call CRFT. Now, craft isn't just a fancy word for coding. Think of it as the art of strategic implementation. It's about the smart choices you make before the AI writes a single line of code. Things like how you structure your folders, which libraries you pick, and how you break down the entire project.
So here's the absolute core principle. Good constraints equal good code. Every implementation decision you make, every choice, acts as a guardrail for the AI. If you give it smart, intelligent constraints, you're going to get back clean, maintainable code. But bad constraints, or even worse, no constraints at all, well, that's your one-way ticket to Spaghetti Code City.
This leads to a fascinating little rule of thumb that I call the ergonomics test. It's so simple, but so powerful. If an API or an interface feels awkward and clunky for you, a human, to use, you can bet the AI is going to struggle with it too. Bad ergonomics for you means more mistakes from the AI. Let me show you exactly what I mean. We can actually test this idea before a single line of implementation code is written. I asked Claude to design 3 different ways the developer could interact with an API client. We're just focusing on the feel, the ergonomics of using it. And this chart just says it all. Client V1, the nice, chainable version, lets you get the job done in just 5 lines of code. It feels good. But look at Client V2. That verbose approach takes 12 lines to do the exact same thing. That's more code, more complexity, and frankly, a much bigger surface area for bugs. We're picking the winner before the AI even starts working. And this brings us to the single biggest mistake people make. The common approach is to take that whole beautiful design and just dump it into one giant prompt. The professional method couldn't be more different. It's all about breaking the problem into small, incremental, and most importantly, testable steps that build on each other. So let's get practical. Let's walk through the 5-step framework that professionals are using to actually build real production-grade software with their AI assistants. See, instead of one giant task, we ask the AI, hey, break this down for me. And it does. Here, it came up with 5 perfectly logical steps. First, set up the basic server. Then, implement the storage layer. Then the API routes. Then auth. And finally, build out the full testing suite. Each step is manageable. Each one builds on the last. And here is the secret that makes this whole thing click. This isn't just a to-do list. Each one of these steps must end in a state where you can test it. And once it's tested and working, you make a clean git commit. This is just professional discipline. It gives you a project history that actually tells a story, and it ensures you're always building on solid ground. Okay, but wait, before we even start on step 1, there are more choices to make. We need to go from the potential chaos of picking random tools to a cohesive, well-thought-out tech stack. This is another massive part of the craft method. So instead of just guessing which libraries to use, we turn the AI into our research assistant. We ask it to create a decision framework for us. What are the pros and cons of Express versus Fastify, Obgest versus VTest? It lays out all the trade-offs, performance, community size, you name it, so we can make a smart, strategic decision. And now for the master move. We ask the AI to bundle these individual choices into cohesive stacks. And look at this. It gives us a minimalist stack if we just want to ship today, a production-ready stack designed for scale, and a modern stack focused on pure performance. The key here is that these tools are chosen because they work well together. No more Frankenstein's monster of a tech stack. All right, now we bring it all home with the secret sauce, what I call the hybrid approach. It's simple. You give the AI two things. First, the high-level design document. That's the map. It gives the AI the big picture context. And second, you give it the specific, focused instructions for the current step. Those are the turn-by-turn directions. It gets both the destination and the next instruction.
So, does all this theory actually work in the real world? Let's look at the results. This is the payoff. This is what happens when you apply the craft method with real discipline.
Total implementation time for this project following this exact method? 30 minutes. Not hours, not days. We went from a final, approved design document to a fully working, fully tested application in half an hour.
And the project itself was just pristine. We ended up with 5 clean, logical commits that tell the story of the build. We needed 0 refactoring, none, because we made the right choices up front. And of course, 100% of the tests were passing.
But here's the most crucial part. The final code was a perfect one-to-one match of the initial design. This wasn't an accident. It wasn't a lucky break. It was the direct, predictable result of using a repeatable, professional methodology. And now it's your turn. So here is your challenge. It's time to go from white belt to orange belt in AI development. Take a design you have, ask an AI to break it into 5 testable steps, and then just implement step 1. Test it and commit it. You're not just a coder anymore. So I will leave you with this one question. Are you ready to stop just writing code and start crafting the constraints that guide an AI to build exactly what you designed? Because that is the heart of the craft phase, and it really does change everything.